shining, shining, nice and bright, bright. The birds are chirping, chirping,
and I'm ready to fly.
Time to get ready, ready
for another day.
No one can stop us. Oh, we gon' learn to play. Oh, every day we learn and play.
We do our best, so we'll be great.
Oh, 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 oh. You do your best, best,
and I don't mind.
So let's get ready, ready, ready. 'Cause it's about that time. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, time to be great. Good morning, time to wake. Good morning,
your dance and play.
Good morning,
so start the day.
Good morning, open your eyes. Good morning,
reach for the sky.
Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. How do you do? Good morning, 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 morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, 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 morning. How do you do?
Good morning.
You see me on my grind. Woo.
Stars got to shine.
I'm a supernova.
Yeah, you see me taking over. Yeah,
I'm on the move. I got a way to shine to it. So let me hear you say, every day we gonna learn and play.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rolling out AM, the wake up call. What's going on, Ducas in the city? Hey,
What's
Romeo
up, y'all?
International. And of course, Terry Shropshire, the first King James. He moved from Akron, he took his talents, and he is now a superstar in the ATL. What's going on, everybody?
Good morning, team. What's going on this day?
Mask up.
Oh, always.
Definitely.
Always. It is morning. Good morning. I had a great sleep. How'd you sleep, Cass?
I had some good rest last night. I went to bed pretty early, so I got a good night's rest. What about you?
Yeah, I had a little bit and exercise this morning, so I'm in tune.
Okay.
I got in 3 minutes of breathing, so I want to get it to 5. That would help. That would help for sure.
We're gonna work on that today with Carrie.
Carrie is coming on this morning for everybody. Good morning to everybody out there in Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to Rolling Out AM, the wake up call. What's happening, King James?
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Well, you let us know. We're waiting for you to tell us.
Hey, it's good. It's good.
It's funny y'all talk about sleep. I had like the best sleep. Like, when you're sitting on the couch and you think you watching TV sleep, but you really just knocked out. Right. and you wake up in the same spot with the TV still on in the middle of the night. Man, that rain helped me sleep real good last night.
I wrote a story last night, and it was inspired by the rain, because that rain was incredible. It was incredible. So that's good. How's your creativity coming? Is there Romeo? You got us a rolling out mix coming. Obviously, we got to start working on Ride. September 25th and 26th, Ride. So that's happening virtual.
Yep. Rollingout.com. When I tell you guys, we're about to release some heat this July. It might not be summertime, but we about to give y'all some summertime vibes. Rolling out funny, rolling out mix every week that you'll get to check out on iTunes, Spotify, Playful Genius, Fit Club, Ride, Design and Dialogue,
Star Studio.
Star Studio. Come on, Cass. I think we're gonna go to her doing makeup on the show.
Makeup on the show.
Not a makeup artist, but we can definitely find some, I'm sure.
Yeah, we should go with that. Bring a couple girls to just do the makeup live right here. Let's go on with that. Invite some models. We might do Monday models.
Monday models.
We're
We're gonna have King James big words of the week. It's coming.
We need to have the rolling out vocabulary by King James
Every single week.
every week. Come on, Terry. Help us out.
Definitely.
Word of the day. Word of the
Come on,
day.
Terry, we
Word
know
of the
how to
day,
get
Terry.
those.
Word of the day. Word of the day, Terry. What is the word of the day?
Stoicism.
What was that, Terry? What's the word?
Stoicism.
Stoicism.
You
Definition,
can't just say the
please.
word. You got to give us the idea, how to use it.
Am I doing this every day?
Yeah, everybody loves it. They asked for it, Terry.
Oh, okay.
They do.
I just like to
love
be
when you say
educated.
it,
I just
you
want to
know,
be as educated as
you're,
you are, Terry. So I can use big words in my conversation.
You see, that's an ask, Terry.
Okay. Yeah. Stoicism is just silence and perseverance in the light of difficulties and divisiveness.
Ooh,
So-
stoicism. I like that.
All right, so we got to put it on the screen, get our producers word of the day so it can pull up and it can have stoicism and stoicism.
Yeah, because that's all I need is just one more responsibility to keep me up all day long and all night, Munson. So I'd like to exercise in the morning some more, you know. I need one more job. That's right. I need another job.
All right, well, I'll come up with the word of the day, Cass.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my
We'll
God.
put the word of the day.
Oh man. Well,
This
it's
is good.
morning time, and I'm
Well,
feeling.
speaking of
stoicism.
mask up, Romeo, you said mask up. You said mask up earlier, so I think we should talk about this because North Carolina actually made a statewide mandate that you have to wear a mask in their effort to slow coronavirus. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, there's no more lockdown. States are reopening in their different phases, but North Carolina has, taken this step to make sure that people are wearing masks when they go out and they have an option.
Who you want to go first?
Anybody?
I'm gonna say this, Cass, in the city, and to the whole Rolling Out AM. I'm still surprised that people are finding it like the argument of not wearing a mask. And excuse me, Rolling Out AM is the dumbest argument ever. I mean, I was out the other day, and this lady was going out the door, and this lady was coming in. She didn't have on a mask, so she said, "Excuse me, miss, can I get past you?" She was like, "Why did you say that? Because you don't have on a mask." I'm not a communist. What do that got to do with you having on a mask, ma'am? It's not that difficult. I don't know what the problem is.
It's become a huge issue. Like, I don't have to. You can't force me to. It goes against my beliefs. Like okay.
Right, the mask. The mask goes against
but it's all about the image of leadership. So the leader doesn't wear a mask, who happens to represent our country. He has refused to wear a mask.
True.
And so of leadership, they made it a political statement. So it's a political statement. So if you wear a mask, you are literally supporting Democrats in their mind.
Right.
You're losing your freedom if you wear a mask. Your freedom to spread coronavirus. Yes, that's right. But now a state that really didn't believe it, all of a sudden, because the cost of people not being able to work in North Carolina, not being able to do, those are all the issues you're talking about. So you're right, Cass, but it's a leadership issue, Romeo. They ain't getting it from the top. It's top down.
Right.
Top down, If your leader
and
I've
decided.
Go ahead, Romeo.
No, I was gonna piggyback off of Munson. Like, I've decided personally, I'm not gonna have the simplest argument with anybody who don't want to wear a mask. If you don't get it, then you will.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, you will get it. about that.
It becomes this thing like Terry, you mentioned this, like even going to the store, an argument can start just because someone is too close to you, like just because you want to keep like you're 6 feet apart, or you want to use the markers, or you want to, separate yourself by like your grocery cart. People are like really crazy about it. Like if you say like, I'm just trying to stay back, they give you like this look or it's an attitude. So it's
Yeah, it's
definitely
just
crazy
yes,
and it's
it's
going
a
on out here.
yeah. You have road rage, and now what I call it Rona rage.
Rona rage.
It's the Rona rage. I mean, they don't want to. They don't want to
Facts.
adhere to any. They don't want nobody telling them what to do. They don't want to
Yeah.
back up. They don't want to do anything that'll ensure the safety of anybody, despite the evidence. And just as a matter of fact, the United States had a record high in coronavirus cases yesterday, breaking the previous high back in April. So that means that we're going backwards. So yeah, their actions are putting the country in danger, but they don't seem to care about that. So
You better go out and get your Clorox wipes and toilet tissue and everything again, because it is getting ready to be a lockdown.
So
And
It's only a
speaking,
moment in time before everything's gonna be missing again, because they're gonna have to have a pause.
and speaking of, like outrage when it comes to this, a woman in the Bay Area, this was crazy. She actually was upset. She took out her social distancing frustrations by coughing on someone's baby, and like coughed it at some stroller, and someone's baby was in there. I mean, we have the video of this queued
no,
up, so we
she actually
can.
took her mask down to spit on the baby,
Oh,
to
spit
cough on
on
the
the
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
let's not
regardless,
watch.
it's horrific to
It's a
even think
wrap.
about, let alone to watch.
Oh, it's a wrap. She did.
I mean, a baby, not the person. I mean, it's the cough and spit on anybody, or to have spittle on anybody, but the baby. She did it to the baby. That's what makes this thing so grotesque.
Here she is in
It's,
the place with her mask. T. Horrible, isn't it?
yeah, it's disgusting, Munson.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Yep, it's a wrap for you. Let me tell you something, man. Tell you something, man.
Well, I want y'all to know, if it was my baby, y'all would see me on the news, okay? And that's just that on that.
Cash, you better tell them. Look,
No.
as a disclaimer to rolling out, Matt, especially all the fellas on here. I can't speak for Cash, but I know all the fellas. There's two things you're not gonna touch: our mama and our baby. Now you can bump my daddy, but my mama and a baby, oh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
But you're talking about a mother and her child. Like, there's no greater bond in the world, like in the universe. So sorry, but like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah,
No,
they should have been carrying her out.
Like, what?
They should have been carrying her out.
How do you even do something like this? Like just spitting on people in general is like so foul. And it's just like, if you spit on somebody, it's a wrap for you.
No,
but not only did you spit, you're spitting, coughing, whatever during coronavirus and on a baby.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you?
That's the reason why. That's the reason why I pray and take deep. That's the reason why I pray and take deep breaths before I go to make my weekly trip to the grocery store, because I really don't want to put into a situation that I lose it, and then I'm dragging that person up and down the aisle. Next to the dog food and the coffee
flying everywhere,
and the coffee mate and all that. I really don't want her, be mixed up in the fruits. No,
mixed up in the fruits. on the fruit aisle.
Grocery
aisle, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
People are standing in line for their sandwiches and for the for the chicken wings and all that, and for their baked cake, and we sit up there flying, stuff just flying all by. They don't know what's going on. Yeah, so I take a deep breath and I pray, because I don't want to be put in that situation.
Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Earl Reed checks in. He said King James must be tired today. I'm ready for him to get to it. Lean Evans says, looking forward to everything y'all got to talk about today. Checking in from Dale. I can't even pronounce that word, but we here today.
Well, speaking of breathing, we have
know
our
her.
favorite Carrie on from Detroit and Organic
Hi.
Flow. What's up, Carrie?
Just trying to find my light, but also trying to take a deep breath. I don't know what I would do if someone would touch my baby. I think I would have corona rage too and have to take a lot of deep breaths.
No, it's called Rona Rage.
Rona rage. Is that the word of the day?
Yeah. Oh my God. Here you
It
go.
needs to be. It needs to be.
Here you go.
Is that our word for today?
Let's just make that. That's our word for today.
Carrie, don't you start. Carrie, don't you start.
Carrie.
You know what I'm saying? I thought we had this kinship, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, being from the Midwest, you know what I'm saying?
You got him to smile, Carrie. You got him to smile.
But that's the word of the day. Rona Rage. That's just that's the nickname for Corona. Rona.
Corona rage.
Hey, Cass, I got one for you. Hey, Carrie,
Yeah.
what's that breathing technique when somebody spit on your child? Give us that.
Carrie, because I don't know if I can do
breath.
it.
Beat down
And
breath.
then that piece might go out the window.
Love to
not beat down breath, guys.
Beat down breath. You know.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be real calm with this stuff, like to your dome. Beat down. You might want to control your breath right now.
Ooh,
I'm just like,
hilarious. So no
what
one
did everybody
does
else do?
So no one does get beat down. We gotta breathe. That's hilarious. But I feel like Cass, you have to take a deep breath, or these people could get it. If you're messing with a baby.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Like it's a lot of corona rage. I've seen it here as well. People not wanting to wear a mask, but being asked to wear a mask. Also, I don't know about you all. Have any of you been pressured to not wear a mask, or have people suggested that you not wear it?
No.
Wow, that is good. That means you're around some good, safe folks. I was recently around someone and they're like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. They had these barriers at the bar that disconnects people. It's like you can get food there and all this, and they have plastic barriers every 2 seats. Have you seen that, Cass?
I haven't seen that at a bar. We've seen it at like nail salons.
You need to be sending us the pictures so we can.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah, maybe I'll show you all a picture on Tuesday.
We're vacationing with you. I mean, we should be vacationing with you because we haven't left the house.
Yeah.
Haven't left the house.
That's a good idea, to stay quarantined. You will reduce your chances of the Rona rage by 1,000% by not being around people who don't want to wear a mask. But I will say that it's super important to keep your stress down, because stress is at an all-time high right now. How would you all rate your level of stress, just based on Corona or the uprisings or whatever?
It's through the roof.
7 or 8.
It's always through the roof, but it's especially through the roof right now. Always.
Wow. Saying that it's through the roof and a 7 is pretty high. How about you, Munson?
Yeah, I vacillate. Depends on the time of the day. You know, the morning, it's morning and the show's on, and I've actually had some breathing and I've exercised. So I'm probably on a 5 where I'd prefer to be on a 2. Maybe middle of the day might ease up, but I've actually increased my breathing. So not bad. Try to keep it from going to a 7. Because 7 and 10 ain't that far apart. But, good conversation, or, even running a business, it's just, you have things that you have to have. You're codependent on other people. And, you'd like to walk around in a monk robe and a head turban and really just chill out and not have to worry about rent and all of those things. And, but I'm able to understand it and tune myself down or stay in tune, which is why it's been so important. And I think our health IQ has increased based on you. So thank you so much, Carrie and Organic Flow. Even though I wondered how you got to Pittsburgh, I was really wondering.
A road trip. I did not go to the airport, even though I do have a trip planned to Hawaii in August. But I will be washing my hands, wearing a mask. Look at Munson's face. I won't be touching anything. I do
Or
think
you still have to get you one of those like Naomi Campbell like entire hazmat suits
I
that
might
she
have
wears
to.
on the airplane.
I
Yeah,
might
it's like
have
a
to.
full thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where
I
can
think
we
they
get
sell them
those
on
hazmat
Amazon.
suits from?
Zips has the
Yeah,
hood.
that's a, that might be a delay, but you're young, you've tried it, but that might be a delay. Right?
I really think that it is risky to travel right now, but I think taking those precautions are serious. I do think we must wear our mask. I always have mine on deck. We must wear a mask, wash our hands, and try to stay safe. And when we booked these tickets to Hawaii, we were thinking that it would be solved by now, or at least the numbers would go down, which they have in our state and a lot of states. But since things have opened back up, that's kind of shifting.
So one, your family has health IQ. I really need for you occasionally to. There is nothing going away. We will not have a vaccine probably till next summer. Corona is something we're going to have to adjust to. Nobody wants to say it because it's having a horrible effect on our economy. But we all have to be safe. I mean, it's not you. See, I don't even think about you on the plane. You got it. It's the person who is on the plane that chooses to take their mask off and talk and do all these other things, and it's recycled air. And it's cool. You're young, but that young lie is kind of worn out. It has affected other people because they might have some other strain of it, and they're just near you, and you're tired. It's an 8-hour flight. So then you got to go to the bathroom. It ain't like a 1.5 hour flight. We can just, I'm gonna hold this whole situation till I get to some place that I know. So just cautionary tale for everybody. Let's not take risks that are not necessary because it's not going away. Anyhow, my point was it's not going away this summer. So
we've learned, right? We've learned.
Yeah.
And you're right. Being young is not a preventative measure for Corona, but wearing masks and trying to wash your hands and also keeping your immunity up. No mask can help you if your immunity is low or you have some of these other pre-existing health conditions. But one reason I'm going to Hawaii is to de-stress, be in the sun, learn how to grow food, things that will boost my immunity, things that I can bring back to my community. So really important thing is to make sure that you're de-stressed because stress can have some neurocognitive effects on us, right? So like just being stressed out, us being in our homes, being contained, thinking about the uprisings and dealing with Corona rage in our own cities can have a lot of effects on us. A lot of psychopathologies go on when we are really stressed out, like depression, anxiety, all these things, insomnia. We can't even sleep when we're stressed out, right? So even if you don't go to Hawaii and take a risk or get on a plane, which I hope none of you do, make sure that you're resting, you're getting sun, you're doing things that keep you de-stressed. And I was feeling about Romeo and you, like a 7, feeling like Cass, stressed through the roof. And I breathe and do yoga every day. But facing the Rona and all of the rage behind it really, was impacting me. So we were like, we have to get out and get some sun and connect with the earth, grow some food. All of these things are a part of a yoga lifestyle, and they're all a part of managing our stress, managing our neurocognition. Where's Terry to break that down for us? But, just managing how our brain literally responds to stress. Our brain
Stress
is
kills.
deteriorating from stress, right? So we have to make sure that we're doing things, breathing, yoga, plus some, even taking it an extra step at these times to manage our emotions and manage our mind at this time. So we're not breaking it down from our lack of coping skills. So I feel you, Munson. Definitely not the best time to travel. Things are out of control.
No bars.
Due to our leadership.
No bars. No bar.
I'll watch your IG story. I'll live vicariously through your IG story. Go ahead, have fun.
Don't forget your goggles, Carrie. You know, get you some good ski goggles so you can cover your eyes. You know, on there.
I'm gonna get my Naomi Campbell hazmat suit that Cass is
Yeah,
telling you about.
yeah.
You don't play.
But yeah,
Should
so
be head
you-
to toe.
everything covered, right? So you all asked, what kind of breathing exercise can you do at this time? A very powerful one is called Ujjayi. And we've tried a variation of Ujjayi breath before, but we will go into that today. And Ujjayi is a Sanskrit word that means victorious, which means powerful. So you use this breath to keep your mind focused on you and your breath. Because all of these external factors, these things outside of our control, the Rona and also the uprisings, we can't control any of this, right? But the one thing we can control is how we breathe, therefore how we feel, and how stressed or little stressed we are just from our breath. So we're gonna focus on that thing we can control. And the reason Ujjayi is so powerful is because you feel and you hear your breath in this practice. So Cass, you do yoga. Imagine focusing on the sound and feeling of your breath for a whole hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
that's
calming,
a
so
long time.
challenging, but so calming when it's all over. Literally training your mind. And when you stop feeling your breath or hearing your breath, that's when you know, like, oh, I have to kick this Ujjayi breath back on. And then it becomes this source of power to direct your attention, right? So when we find ourselves feeling very stressed, we can redirect it. Why are you shaking your head, Munson?
You know, the one thing, thank you for that. But the one thing that I've learned in all of this is that it's about giving you time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one thing about taking an hour to breathe means you'd stop your life and increase your life, but you would pause. And I think for many of us, our rage, we haven't found a moment to pause. So I think even in what you're saying, to breathe for an hour is to kind of like give yourself life and make it about you for an hour. So even in exercise and having that, I've learned that it's about you taking the time to give your body and your life a moment to pause. So I think that's beautiful. Breathing for an hour, I would try to do that without falling asleep. I just want you to know.
It's not easy, you know. Cass will tell you in a yoga class, it is definitely not easy to focus the whole time, but neither is running a mile, neither is starting a business. Nothing is easy worth doing, right? So we just got to do it. Let's try some Ujjayi today. Do you all remember the sound of like Darth Vader? That's kind of how you're gonna sound. Or like the sound of you fogging up a mirror or your glasses, like that's the sound you want to make. You want to hear your breath. Romeo, that's how you got to get into it.
So we're going through the mouth today.
You want to just hear your breath. That's the most important thing about Ujjayi. So you're, again, training your mind with the sensation and the sound of your breath by keying into those at all times, because it's so easy to lose our focus, especially now. So the goal is to just focus on the sound and the sensation. So we're going to create this Ujjayi breath, which is an ocean-like sounding breath. So first, let's sit up nice and tall, find your seat, and take a deep breath in. Fill your body up until you can't sip in any more breath. Let it out through your mouth. I want to hear you. I think somebody's on mute. I want to hear you. That's how you know you're doing Ujjayi. So when you exhale, you're going to constrict the back of your throat. Okay? Tighten it up so you can make that sound, that audible breath. Take a deep breath in. Let it out through the mouth. One more, breathe in. Let me hear you breathe out. Good. I hear you, Munson. One more time. Breathe in. This time, press it out through your nose. Good. Breathe in through the nose. Audibly press it out through your nose. Breathe in. Tighten the back of the throat. Breathe out through the nose. Breathe in, whole body expanding with breath. Exhale, let it out through the nose. Wonderful work, everybody. I heard you breathe a little bit, that victorious breath. How do you feel? Did you feel the chest expand with your breath? Did you feel the power of your breath in Ujjayi?
Yeah, I think that kind of concentration on that breath it feels good to do that. Just like take the time to focus on that.
And it really does take a level of concentration. You might be thinking about the process, thinking about how silly it may look or feel. So when you take your mind out of it, you really have to concentrate. So thanks for lifting that, because it's not easy to practice these, and it does take and also cultivate concentration.
Yeah, I was trying to do the parasympathetic, push my belly out when I'm breathing in and then make the noise, and a whole bicycle thing was going on, just keeping my balance and getting a rhythm so that I'm breathing parasympathetically.
Oh my gosh. Romeo, how was it for you? I saw you breathing out of the mouth sometimes, breathing into the nose and out of the nose sometimes.
So here's the challenge, for me. Like, following the steps are easy. Getting used to the different types is difficult. Because your nose is telling you one thing, your mouth telling you another thing. Because you know how you normally breathe. So it's kind of like getting them two to work together. That's all.
Yeah.
But I feel good though.
Good. You know what? You guys have just inspired me to create a video for this. I think I'm going to add one on the Yoganic Flow YouTube channel, a video for Ujjayi breathing, so you all can practice this, because that is what it will take, practice. Yoga is 90% practice, 10% theory.
So when the lady at the coffee shop spits on my child, I should you, right? That's what I should do. Just asking.
Take a deep, victorious Ujjayi breath. Tap into that inner strength to be. What did Michelle Obama say? They go high, they go low, you go high. Use your words. Take a deep breath and use your words. Call the police.
So hit her high. Hit her high. Got you. All right. I got you.
Oh no, that's the other thing. Is you got to anticipate if this is a situation. You've got to really be like the mama bear in this scenario. Like you're not even gonna touch my baby. She got way too far. Lady might have just been a little bit more relaxed. You got to be aware. You got to be aware right now.
Alert and aware, and that's what breathing does. Creates more alertness, more awareness, and like you said. A person wouldn't even get that close to my baby, honestly.
Yeah.
You have to be aware.
I think it's so crazy because, a lot of babies can't wear masks because it inhibits their breathing because they're so small. But I mean, my stroller would definitely have like one of them protective like coverings over it. Like, you're not even gonna get the chance to breathe on my kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I would just probably not leave out of the house if I had a baby because they don't want to listen. My niece is 2 years old and the mask falls off of her face. She's taking it off. She's screaming. She doesn't want to deal with the mask at all. So if I were a mom, I would probably be at home quarantining with the baby, because you're right. What do you do about their mask and protecting them?
Does she have my book, Sleep, Sleep, Dream, Dream?
You know what? Maybe a Christmas gift. Her birthday's coming up.
Crew.
Her birthday for Christmas.
Have you been to playfulgenius.co?
What? I'm writing it down.
Playfulgenius.co.
Taking notes.
She's a little Professor Sky. You gotta make her a little Professor Sky. Come on. I don't know. too. That's so precious.
It is. I'll
Bring
add something
her
to her
pictures,
baby
make
jeans
her-
collection.
Add her, add her. We love it. We love it. We love it. Well, send us some pictures from I studied in Pittsburgh at Carnegie Mellon. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I hung out there for a whole 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
What kind of program was that for 3 months?
It was a qualitative and quantitative school skills analysis for at Carnegie Mellon. So it's great.
Cassidy, get our dictionary, Cassidy, because these two today, boy,
Man.
Now, did I say that right?
These words.
Parasympathetic. Was that right?
Yes.
Cass
Rest
got
and
me on.
digest side of the nervous system.
Yes, but getting my stomach to poke out and while I'm breathing is it's an adjustment.
Yeah, and it's so good though. It tones the abdominal organs, the internal organs. It's so good to practice that. So I know it seems odd, but with practice, we'll get better and be able to deal with all the what do they call it? The Rona rage.
Right.
We love it.
Yeah.
One time.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us
Good to
today.
talk to you.
We miss you. How's our friend that was at the she had that issue? How's our friend, both our friends, but the one from Detroit that left Lululemon, how is she?
Yeah.
She's doing well. And guys, I do encourage you, go check out Adria Moses. She's offering all sorts of beautiful specialized meditation. She actually had a meditation for grief, which is something I think that all of us could use at this time. So many Black lives lost. And it's great to be all positive and namaste all day. But the reality of the situation is it's a hard time. We're grieving as a people, as a culture, as a country. So I think the things that she's offering are great healing modalities for our community. And I think she's staying lifted with her offerings and just that energy from students. Yeah.
Send me her number so I can connect with her and get her going, because I said I'd interview her. So I want to make sure we do a profile on that.
Yes,
that sounds excellent.
yes.
Thank you so much. We love you. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Cass, it is your time. We're going to the Cassidy Cash Report. Cass in the city, rolling out AM. Thanks everybody in Facebook, Twitter land, and YouTube. What's up?
Definitely. So we're going to kick things off, starting off with Tiana Taylor, I believe. If we're going to go to my report, she is pregnant. She actually just announced this when she announced like her album, and she actually revealed this in a video for one of her singles on the album. But she has decided to enlist the help of Erykah Badu as her doula, which is a non-medical assistant that helps in childbirth. So Erykah Badu will be helping in the delivery of Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert's baby. And she said she wants her to sing to her during this time. It's kind of a person who helps you through, eases your spirit as you're going through labor. So this is interesting to me. Obviously, a lot of people don't want to go to the hospital right now. I'm not sure. She'll probably be doing an at-home birth. So this will definitely be interesting to see. But I thought this was really a cool thing. Like, you could call up anybody to help you go through childbirth. You hit up Erykah Badu. So that's cool. Up next, we have B. Simone, y'all. I just wanted to share this. Obviously, we've, spoken about this issue and her, plagiarizing her book that she put out. So B. Simone is, trying to, make up for her mistake and help other people so they don't make the same mistake. She has organized this free webinar from industry experts to teach people about law, finance, and obviously copyright infringement. And she said, I never, ever want anyone to experience what I did or make the same mistakes I did. So, she's turning this mistake around, trying to help people, in a positive way. So shout out to B. Simone. You got to right your wrongs in some way. So this was interesting to me. Up next, we have Michael Jackson, y'all. It is the 11th anniversary of Michael Jackson's death. He passed away June 25th in 2009. Very unbelievable. I have a video pulled up, one of my favorite songs. I don't know if we're going to play it or not, but Rock With You is one of my favorite songs from Michael Jackson. But we definitely, want to honor him today, play some of his music. And then in birthdays, JJ, Jimmy Walker plays JJ on Good Times, is celebrating his 73rd birthday today. And Lala Anthony is turning 39 today. So we want to wish both of them a very happy birthday today. And that's it for me, y'all.
Is that who I think it is? That can't be who I think it is, Cass, because he got his hair done. It can't be who I think it is. Is that
Man,
who
I'm
I
back.
think it is?
I'm back from saving the world, man. I'm back from saving the world, man. Had to make sure we got the content on the site right. If we got the picture, Lecrae is actually the cover for this week's issue of Rolling Out. He talks about cancel culture, and one thing that Lecrae says in this new cover story is that you can't cancel the work. So anytime that people talk about the cancel culture, if you put in the work, they can't cancel you. So I want everybody to go to rollingout.com right now to check out Lecrae's latest cover story. It's on Rolling Out right now. And so I'm back. I just had to save the world for a minute, and I'm back.
Okay,
welcome back.
Welcome back.
You know what I'm saying? Got people all in the Facebook DMs. They saying, where's the guy with the hair? It ain't me.
They were missing you in there.
I'm back, man. So let's get it, man. We got some important topics. Got some cool guests that's coming up. Definitely want to get into it, man. Got some controversial guests. That's about to, talk about this latest film, man. And we're gonna go into a trailer and just get everybody's thoughts on this. And I think this is going to be a real. It's gonna spark some discussion.
That's going
All
on
right,
today.
let's go with some discussion.
Are we here?
Chatter. All right.
Are we gonna play the video? Are we gonna play the trailer first? Okay.
Oh yeah, you gotta approve your age. You gotta sign in. This may be inappropriate.
Hey, how's it going? Why don't you step out? Take that shit off your head, monkey!
Show that black monkey who the fuck you are!
Fuck you, Mother Earth. Make sure I get my nut. And if she bleeds gold, they should crown me King Tut. Nat King Cole, King Solomon, these nuts. Nutrition fucking oil, you get rich when I bust. Fucking Mother Earth. I'm starting to get dizzy. I made that bitch squirt and created the Mississippi River. My nigga took a trip to nigga.
What you looking at, Cracker?
What's your name, Cracker? Michael. What you doing, man?
Where I come from, this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you are, Cracker.
Welcome back. Be cool.
Very, very, very interesting stuff here. And do we have Dale? Is Dale here? Let me make sure that Dale is going to join us. Yeah, what's going on, brother? Want you to turn your camera around and take yourself off mute. Take yourself off mute.
How you doing?
All right, everything's cool. So I'm A.R. Shaw. I have my co-host Cass in the City and the first King James, Terry Shropshire with me. I want you to introduce yourself. I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Dale Restaghini? I want to make sure I get it right.
That's correct. Restaghini, correct, yes.
Restaghini. All right, cool. So let's just talk about the last clip that we saw, which is the trailer for the new movie Cracker. and just your whole inspiration behind this film.
Sure. I basically created it because I got fed up with racism. Always being told by a lot of my white counterparts that racism doesn't exist in this country. And because of Charlottesville and the seismic shift in racism that I felt was happening via social media, I said to myself, I asked myself, what would make these white people, whether they're extreme on the extremist side or whether they're just your regular average white person in America, what would make them understand that racism just is wrong? And because after all these years of knowing about slavery and understanding, the history of it, and having seen mini series like Roots or films like 12 Years a Slave, it's inherently wrong to enslave a human being. Here in today's day and age, it still exists and they don't understand that. So I said, what could I do? And I said, aha, what if they could see it reversed? What if it was their daughter, brother, sister, mother suffering at the hands of the other race? And that was the aha moment that I had in creating Cracker.
Okay.
So I had to challenge you on this because I see where you're going with it, right? I see the lane that you're driving down, and the road that you're driving down. But you're gonna get this pushback as you put this film out. So the thing is this. So when you put out these images, as far as you want to say the reversal of roles. Now you're putting back the onus back on black people, that black people would do the same sadistic things to white people that white people did to black people.
Sure.
So what's your response to that? It's because of the thing, right? Because it's like, what if we were in those roles? Would we do sadistic things to other people, to other cultures? So talk about that, and how do you walk that line where you're not exploiting black people, but you actually want to tell a story that's going to shock?
So you have science fiction, you have fantasy, you have real life. Artists, whether you're a rapper that can rap about anything they want to rap about, or a rocker that can write about songs they want to talk about, or you're a painter, you can paint anything you want. You have artistic freedom to do and say whatever you want. When it comes to this is certainly part of filmmaking and storytelling. I grew up loving science fiction, time travel, history, drama, action. So I said to myself, let me take, my talent as a filmmaker and help tell the story I want to tell by using great actors and a great team, and be able to just flip the world. But when you're talking about racism and trying to achieve what has not been done, because let's not make any mistake about it. We're 2020. This country is broken. Nothing has solved racism. No Kumbaya song, no politician, no great poet. Nothing has solved racism. It's still here. So far be it of somebody to challenge, I take that back. Far be it of somebody to question if this can work or not. I just released 90 seconds of a 30-minute world. 90 seconds. And think about it. There's not one piece of nudity. There's no blood. There's no gunshots. And that went viral around the world for 90 out of 90 seconds. The outrage from the minority on both sides is still way outnumbered by the positive and the interest in the project. But the outrage on both sides, I mean, the 90 seconds compared to George's 526 seconds, 8 minutes and 48 seconds, the white people are okay. The white people get infuriated over 90 seconds of a fake world, but they're not anywhere near as outraged after seeing a real life murder take place in front of them for 8 minutes and 48 seconds. So when you're trying to get something done, you can't try to, I'm not the kind of guy to walk a line. It's I'm either in or I'm out. And I just couldn't okay, well, let's reverse the roles and let's make black people, in the roles of the white people, the oppressors, let's make them not so bad. Because how do you get the conversation going? So I went there, and my actor Hakeem Kai Kazim, who's from Nigeria and London, an amazing actor who's been in so many shows and films and TV shows. He said to me, actually, before he took the role, he called me up. He was on set somewhere in Africa, and he asked me. He wanted to speak to me about the subject matter, and I guess he wanted to get a take that I wasn't just some non-Black who's just trying to, be provocative for no reason. And when I got into the conversation and told him about my history, and he really understood it. And he's like, you know what, I really want to be a part of this because what you just said makes a lot of sense to me. And he goes, as big as you think it's going to be in America, it's going to be even bigger in Africa. So I just couldn't, I just needed to go there. And again, this is a TV show. It's an alternate history. The same way Man on the High Castle, Flipped the World, where America lost World War II, and so many other alternate reality worlds, like you're able to tell a story in a way that you normally couldn't in say a documentary. So yeah.
Hold 1 second. So I want to make sure that my colleagues get in. Cass in the seat. I know you had a question. Or Terry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Terry. I'll go after you.
Okay. Go ahead, Terry.
Well, I was just I wanted to talk about that title because that's an extremely inflammatory, incendiary title. So that was the first part of my question. The second part, I didn't know if you were able to view a movie with Harry Belafonte and John Travolta, The White Man's Burden, that came out several years ago, that also talked about role reversals between the races, and how, that kind of informed your thinking about the movie that you just made. But please start with that title. I mean, are you concerned that title might supersede the meaning of the movie that you have made?
Absolutely not. I toyed with the idea initially of trying to be cute with it and call it The Enslaved and a little more ambiguous and, let it kind of seep out. But this country is fucked. Excuse me. It's broken. We're in a race war. We have been in a race war. What's going to get somebody's attention? Something like cracker. And I first heard the word cracker back in the late 80s when I was locked up in jail down in Florida, playing spades for push-ups. It's a whole other thing. But I was first called a cracker by a Black guy that I was locked up with. And so that word had stuck with me all these years, but I never knew it would end up being something that I could utilize to help achieve something positive. So again, all or nothing. I'm not going to walk the line on something as important as this. And, we haven't gotten to too much detail, but, I've been married to a Black woman for 27 years. Mostly only dated Black girls my whole life. I've done hundreds of rap videos with a lot of people we all know. And the majority of my life are mostly Black and brown people. Of course, I got my white family, my white friends, but my industry and my storytelling revolves around mostly Black and brown people. So, and has been for decades. So I understand the culture a lot more than your average white person that thinks they know Black culture because they get a Black friend or they listen to Black music. So it got to the point. Even in 1997, I did my first movie called Colors of Rage. Redman was in it and Queen Pen was in it. And I remember it was about an interracial relationship. And I remember Billy Porter was in it. I remember an executive, a white guy. We were looking for some finishing funds, a very, very small film. I remember this white guy sitting on his desk saying, you know what I just saw wouldn't happen nowadays. And it was a real life scene that happened between me, my Black girlfriend, and 6 Black guys on the 3 train up in Harlem. And even in 1997, I was being told that racism didn't exist. It blows my mind. So here we are all this time later. And I actually started shooting this in 2018 or late 2017, 2018. And I thought post Charlottesville, we were screwed up. Like that was clearly a moment when he said, there are good people on both sides. I thought, okay, this is just ridiculous. And then right at the start of the pandemic, I said, let me just put this proof of concept 30-minute world out because everyone's going to be home for the next 6, 8, 9, 10 months. They will have binge watched everything they wanted to binge watch. When they see a title like Cracker and they see a trailer for it, this can help achieve what I want to achieve. And so then Ahmad happened and then George happened. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. Oh, the leftists created this at this time. Idiocy. So Yeah. So Cracker needs to be that title that everybody sees. And I tell you, there's you'd be surprised. Maybe you won't be surprised, but every Black woman that's a part of this, been on this journey, when there has ever been a conversation about maybe we should change the title, we're talking to Netflix, we're talking to Amazon, maybe every Black woman, no, we want that title. And one of the women are directly tied to Medgar Evans' story with family down in Louisiana. She said, no, absolutely not. You keep Cracker. So it just needs to hit people over the head, because nothing else has worked at all now, up until now. Am I wrong? Has anything stopped and cured racism? Nothing.
No, you're right. Cass?
I just want to talk, about the creative aspect. We discussed this. We have a series, Star Studio, which kind of touches on the creative aspect of, filmmaking and production. And, like you said, from music video director now to creating this kind of film that is, touching these subjects. What are, tips that you have for, young filmmakers who want to make something that is impactful in a work? Maybe like 3 tips or advice that you have for them.
I can almost really condense it down to one, or I will say this. You can never give up. You can't listen to anybody but yourself. And the final one, which is the most important one, which I've come to learn over time, which I always used to think was a cliche in this business, but it is the God's honest truth. Write what you know. You can't go wrong when you write what you know. I have some other projects that have some stars attached to it that are genre pieces. It's a fantasy, it's a drama, it's an action. And, they're moving along, but I've never had anything take off or check all the boxes like Cracker. And it's because it's something I know so well, and it's something that is honest and genuine, that you just can't go wrong when you write what you know. And those are the 3, bullet point tips that I use.
And you've done work with Diddy, RZA, Nicki Minaj. If you could talk about Ice Cube, you could talk about some of the work that you've done with different artists in the past, and how you kind of use that platform to propel you into your movie career.
Sure. I've literally done just about 1,000 music videos. I started out doing rock and metal videos back in the early 2000s, and I was determined to cross over into hip hop, because at that point, that's what the budget's starting to get really, really big. And then my first music video, actually my first hip hop music video was with Jimmy, Cam, and Joel's Dipset. And I did about 16, 17 videos with those guys. Then I started to go down to Atlanta, do videos with DJ Unk, and I did all the Soulja Boy's big videos like Crank That, DJ Drama, T.I., and then I started to do a lot of Cali stuff with like Game, Keisha Cole, Ice Cube, on and on. And then I would go to Jamaica, do videos with like people like Sizzla, Tanya Stevens, Braga Benz, Kamani Marley. And then I go to London and do videos with like Lamar, Craig David, Alexander Burke, so on and so on. So I can say I feel like after my film school, which has been music videos, because I never went to film school, and whether the budget was $20,000 or $500,000, you get to learn your skill as a filmmaker by just repetitive work. It's like going to the gym, working out every single day, just set after set after set after set. You just keep doing it. And before you know it, you open your eyes one day and say, you know what, I'm ready to make that next step. And even though you're ready to make that next step, there's still a lot of, you're just a pawn on the chessboard, and you don't control that game. So you have to then strategize on how do you navigate that board and start moving in for the big win. So it's taken some time. And I've definitely had a very humble success. I've been bi-coastal now for about 10 years. And I've gone the long way around, but I feel like, with not only Cracker, but some other things I got going on, I'm finally at that threshold to have that success that I personally want. And so other people, I'm sure we all deal with it. People will ask you, are you happy? And you're like, no, you're not satisfied. But they look at you like, wow, you've already achieved this, and you've done this. But we all have our own personal goals with what will make us satisfied. And so I think I'm getting there.
Okay. Clear.
Okay, so what is your reasonable expectation on the outcome? When this goes, when it gets its release, and people are able to digest this or choke on it. What is your reasonable expectation of what you hope that people will get out of it? Of course, everyone is going to take a different perspective, but what is a reasonable expectation that you might have?
Well, from the filmmaker side, I want people to feel like, they obviously are entertained. Whether they're watching Game of Thrones or they're watching Power, or no matter what kind of show you're into, I want to feel like they're entertained and it's at that cinematic level that I've always aspired to have. People like Tony Scott and Ridley Scott, Michael Mann, Spike Lee. They've always had this very high level of cinematic greatness, and I want them to come away with that, number one. I take that, but as equally as I want them to come away with, okay, we didn't really know what to expect with this series, but okay, episode 2, I get it. Episode 3, okay, now I see where this redemption goes. Now I see why this character's here. Oh, there's a love story over here now. Oh, there's this deceptive bad guy over here. I want them to be entertained, but by way of using science fiction as a Trojan horse to allow people to see racism through a new way, that's what I want to come out of this. Listen, the trailer has to be the trailer to engage. And that text that is on there, we took your breath away. That was written by a Black woman named Piper Dellums, whose dad, Ron Dellums, was a 30-year congressman out of the Bay Area who helped free Mandela and end apartheid. So I've got a tremendous team of people around me, Black and white, that help, get this here. And so while on the surface, people just want to see, oh, there's a white guy that did a show called Cracker, and it's about Black people raping white people. I mean, if you look at I've gotten 300 death threats from white supremacists. I've gotten some Black militants hit me up saying, oh, now you're trying to take slavery away from us. That's not the point. That's not the goal. The goal is simply, from my perspective, to help white America with their white blindness. I used to say white ignorance, and they're ignorant to racism, but ignorance such a confrontational word. They're blind to racism, and all the Karens and the Kyles, that whole culture is going on now. It's starting to penetrate, and it's small, but it's starting to penetrate even more. And again, I mean, this trailer, 90 seconds. I knew it was going to be, you do a trailer, you create a trailer to not so much be clickbait, but you want it to have impact. If not, then what are you doing? Whether you're an artist with a video or with a song, or you're selling toothpaste, you have to create that desire for somebody to want to click and watch more. And so my goal is, once people get past the trailer and into the actual series, they'll understand, okay, we get it. I mean, how often have you sat down and in today's day and age of content, and you're watching Netflix or Amazon, and you're scrolling through all your different platforms, Tubi, IMDb, and you're like, okay, let me try this series. And you don't know what it is. Maybe I'll say you just episode 1. In your first, episode, if you're going to continue watching the next 6, 7, or 8. So it's my goal and my expectation that, because racism has been with us for decades, everybody has an opinion on it. And you take a show like Game of Thrones, which was based on this successful book series. That world was built out over a series of books, and so it had fans. It had just the same way a lot of video games have fans that video game turn into a movie. Racism doesn't have its own built out world, but it's in terms of Cracker, but racism's been around for centuries. Yeah. So I feel like having a show like this can go a long way to just help people seeing it through a new perspective.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I want to kind of talk about that as well, as far as, because you're right, with a television show, with a television series, you would have a long scope to tell a large story instead of it being condensed down to 2 hours. So you have a lot of room to play with. You have a lot to play with. So, but my thing is this. So it seems like what I'm hearing from you is that you want this project to kind of inspire empathy within white people, as far as who don't really understand, not really aware of racism. So I want to kind of flip that. What happens if it inspires rage? because we know that the Second Amendment, which gives people the right to bear arms, was basically implemented because of the fear of slave revolts. They whites wanted
Sure.
to have arms to protect themselves or kill slaves if that happened, if the roles were reversed. So they had the right to bear arms. So what happens if this project, it doesn't stoke empathy, but it stokes fear?
Well, I already see fear from the KKK and the neo-Nazis that have, threatened to kill me and my family and hang me and burn me. So, but I don't care. I mean, I take that back. It's not that I don't care. It's too important of a mission. If racism is ever going to be eradicated or at least softened or made less before this young generation that isn't having racism, the young generation that are at the protests holding up signs like, say, you fuck with the wrong generation, filled with whites and blacks and browns, that generation is going to kill off the 30 years of racists that are here right now, regardless. But we still got 20, 30 years of living with these types of people. So we have laws, we have government. I don't think I can't. The threats of of this European race war against blacks that some of these racists are typing in my DM about, it's not going to happen. But and I also say, and to some degree, with the Floyds and the Ahmauds and the Breonnas and the gentlemen in Atlanta, and going all the way back to my wife's brother, John Stansel, who was murdered in 1981, walking to FDU. He was attacked by three white boys, attacked him, picked him up, threw him over a bridge, killing him, and they got away with murder, never even charged. So to some degree, that hate and that willingness to kill blacks for whatever reason is already there. I don't think that a series is going to make more white people pick up guns to kill black people. I think that faction, that hateful, ignorant, ridiculous, cowardice faction of white people, if anything, if it does bring them out, then good. Put the light on them, call them out, and let's do what we need to do with them to end it. Because hiding in the bushes and me getting tweets from, I'm getting voicemails from these types of people. I can't even repeat what they said, but people that are in my circle, like we never even imagined that racism was even this bad. So I am glad that I'm poking the bear to get all these cowards out of their shadows and out of their wherever the hell they live, because I'm saying, aha, so it worked. My aha moment is proving racism does exist on the level that I felt it existed when nobody else, well, for the most part, nobody else in my world felt it existed. So I feel like I'm definitely, poking the bear in the way I expected to with Kraka. And I definitely do not want to think about, the possibilities of, okay, well, Kraka's out. Let me grab my gun. Let me go find some black people to kill. Like that to me, doesn't make any sort of reality, have any sort of reality to it. But, you never know. There are a lot of crazies out there.
Yeah, that's what it is, man. So thanks so much again for joining us. We're looking forward to see how the project turns out. Again, if people want to follow it, where can they go on social media to learn more information?
Oh, they can go to crackaworld.com.
Okay. All right, we're gonna check.
When is it when is it going to air, and for how long, and where?
So it's been really interesting. So from a filmmaking standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, and to educate some young filmmakers out there, when you have a project now, with all these different platforms, you can actually go release it yourself on Amazon Prime, Amazon Direct, and iTunes. You go through an aggregator, which is basically a distributor for platforms. It's a very small world of people that do it. You pay a couple of fees, and then they start the timeline of what it takes to be able to get your projects up and running. So right now, if you wanted to get your show or your video or something on iTunes, it's about a 45 to 50 day countdown because just the process of what needs to happen. And so when we dropped Cracker, the trailer, the demand for it was instant. So my partners are like, yo, so we can't wait 45 days for this. And then so we thought we'd follow the model of one of my soundtrack contributors, David Sebastian, who has that song, Nland, NKKKALAND, which is a killer song. And which, by the way, just to add on to it, he created that song 3 years ago at the same time I created the idea for Cracker. And he said, yo, I wanted to do a music video just the way you made your film. And I said, wow, this is amazing. So we collaborated, he dropped it. So what he recently did was he sold his new EP without any platforms direct to his fans for $7.77. He got 30,000 people to buy his EP direct, and he just sent them a link. So we thought about that. I said, you know, we can actually do this ourselves, not waiting for Amazon or iTunes for their timeline. We can actually send our consumers their own private link and watch it in a week. So as we're doing this, we're getting ready to drop it on Friday. We're now being talked to by 3 major studios to say, no, don't drop it, refund them your money. Let's do a deal. So you guys. Well,
congratulations. So when might we expect it?
Oh, so it could be now. If we do this deal, it's going to be a series done for $7 million per episode. So there could be, in 7, 8, 9, 10 months for the actual series itself. TBD on the 30-minute world that you saw the trailer for. So from a marketing standpoint, that the 90 seconds you saw did what it was supposed to do. People came at us a lot quicker than we thought they would, and it from a filmmaker standpoint, it's helping me get to where I want to go to, which will let me actually tell this story better. And I've got several very well-known Black screenwriters that want to be a part of this that will actually help me do that. So yeah, so that in the short stroke, that's where we're at.
Well, I can't wait to delve headfirst into Cracker World. Yes, so thank you very much for coming on and telling us about this.
So here's a question for all you guys. So is the creator behind Cracker somebody you thought, or did you guys expect something different, or what?
Well, no, I knew who you were. I did the research as soon as I saw the trailer, so I did the research. So
I admit that yes, I was surprised.
Okay, well, cool. So, all right, guys, listen, guys and cast in the city. Oh, I'm gonna go back to try to work on that breathing stuff that you guys are doing before cast. I'm unwoke about breathing. I'm so unwoke about breathing. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm all messed up.
Yeah, all right, thanks so much, Bill.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Man, AR Shaw, you got my social media on fire right now. That's my AR, Cassidy. That's my AR. I be telling him all the time. My AR. Social media is on fire. Shout out to Elizabeth Rotunda, Trey Ellie, Sammy Snell, Lizzie Soto. And Lizzie Soto was going. Dee Turner. Lynn Evans. Then I switch over to Twitter. This man done got Twitter all on fire. Like, what did you do, AR? What's going on?
No, it was an interesting, conversation, man. And it's like, we just have to. My thing is this: we don't want our struggle to be exploited, and so hopefully he's able to tell the story that is not in a way that doesn't exploit, but actually gives an alternative view. Without exploitation. So that was just my whole thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I hope that it's not reckless, and we'll have to wait to see. And besides, also some of the autonomy goes away when you sign on with the big label or the big studio, and so they're the executives are gonna have a lot to say about what goes and what does not go in. So I hope he's prepared to do that, or prepared to walk away from the mega millions, because the dollars talk, money talks. So even if he has something that is responsible, what's going to happen to that creative process or to the finished product that he's already finished once the studio gets their hands on it and contaminate whatever he does, because they're going to change something. So,
well, it just depends on who walks in the door with him. As far as if you have like a power broker that's already established, they can help keep the voice. But you're right. Like soon as you get in there, they're gonna put their own flavor into the story. So you're right. Like it's it's a catch-22 once you sign with the with the big boys. So we'll see how it turns out.
And I'll throw this at AR because him and I go to these premieres all the time. I say this: everybody has a voice, everybody has a story. I would like to see the entirety first. Like I would like to see the entirety first, then I can make a better observation. Because the point that he was making before we move on, the point he was making about the 90-second trailer, just from that going super viral. Now I admit I'm curious. I got to see this whole thing now. If that match just lit a whole fire, let me see this building burn. I want to see this building burn now.
And plus, I mean, I just want to see if he just got a Robert De Niro thing going on, that he just has a thing for sisters for chocolate skin, or if he's, really involved and in tune to what is really going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love Robert De Niro. He's one of my 3 favorite actors, but what I'm saying is Robert De Niro is not really known for activism, getting into the community. He's more of a recluse. And so we'll just have to see where he fits in all this. And I think his finished product, because the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, we'll see what his finished product does. It will inform all of us where he's really at. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. So Romeo, we want to go ahead and get into your report. Let us know what we
man,
have.
I got some great news for y'all. Wherever you take me is wherever I'm gonna go. First and foremost, shout out to 50 Cent. 50 Cent, Roddy Ricch, Pop Smoke. He's in the process of releasing the video. They held the video because of the death of Pop Smoke. But 50 Cent gave us a little teaser last night, and they're about to release a brand new video this weekend, I think. So make sure y'all stay tuned in, because 50 Cent, he is on it, man. Like, I am loving the new 50 Cent. And he didn't even do Ja Rule too bad, but that's a different story. Next up, shout out to Jamil Hill and Carrie Champion. Carrie Champion is a good friend of mine. I love you very much. You look great. On their new show, Disruptors, note that they are also executive producing it as well. It's very important for Black women to have this kind of visibility and creative control. And, I love the both of them. I did the Beautiful Woman thing for Cassidy, so I threw that in there. Bow! So shout out to them because they're doing it for the culture, Jamil Hill and Carrie Champion. And Jamil Hill is very, very versed in what she does as a commentator. So she's very hot. And, ladies and gentlemen, announced last night, me and Greg Street are the official BET pre-party virtual host this Saturday going down. Greg Street will be live from 4 to 5 with QC and the Takeover. Romeo International, that great guy, will be live on BET Plus from 7 to 8 for the virtual pre-party, DJing live and hosting with a fan group of people. They announced it last night. It's on, man. Let me tell you something, man. So we're gonna be going back and forth from Atlanta.
Congratulations, Romeo! Great job! Great job!
Congratulations. We need to tell folks about who Greg Street is for those who are on the West Coast or in the North and never heard or are not familiar with him.
Greg Street is one of the innovators of radio. He's a friend of the Rolling Out family. He's actually on rollingout.com if you check him out. Plus, on top of that, you can actually catch him on V13 each and every week. But I am just honored that they put a young cat in the gang alongside him. And I'm actually going to get that simulcasted on Rolling Out. So make sure y'all check it out, man. It's overcasted. It's rap. It's a rap. They should have did that.
Let me ask you this, man, because this is like the first time that the BET Awards is going virtual. Just let's talk about that, because it's usually like we were there last year in LA, and it's a lot of moving parts, and but this time it's all virtual. So what are your thoughts on, I guess, it being virtual now? Do you think people are still going to have the same impact as it did, in previous years?
I honestly don't have. I am clueless to that point. I do know that today and tomorrow. Well, me and AR are normally there at Cass in the City in King James. So today and tomorrow they are hosting the radio room. In the radio room, I think Big Tigger is on today with a lot of radio personalities doing the radio room. Saturday morning, normally me and AR would be at the BET Experience. So the BET Experience is going to be hosted by DC Young Fly and some other influencers between 12 and 4. And then from 4 to 8, they're going to have the virtual party, which I'm a part of. So it's interesting how they're doing this. I don't know if it's going to have the same impact, but I do think that it's going to be interesting to see how they transition from city to city, because they are doing, I will say this, it is not pre-programmed. They are doing this live. They are doing this live. So it's going to be
I think it's going to
roller coaster.
Yeah, I think it's going to get mad ratings because of the fact that there's nothing else going on in the culture. So there's no sports, there's no live events, there's no concerts. So I think that it's still going to get a lot of eyes on it, and you're going to see people wilding out and dressing like crazy on the screen. It's going to be a lot like the NFL draft. It's going to be a lot like the golfing event between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson that did with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's going to get mad rating because there's nothing else to watch, and so yeah, it's gonna be a big platform. So we want to give a shout out to Romeo International and congratulate him on that distinction and that. Yeah, and so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of eyes on there, man. So that is a big platform. It's still gonna be. Go ahead.
You brought up a point that I forgot about. Wasn't the NBA draft supposed to happen today?
Yeah, I mean, everything. I mean, they're in a tailspin because there are significant players who vow that they won't play, or maybe they're faking it. Maybe they want some more. I don't know what it is, but right now they're not in a good position right now because they set up a situation where they basically have so much influence and power in the NBA that they had to pump down the commissioner saying, no, we ain't gonna play. Like, we ain't gonna come to work, and you just gonna have to suck it up. So I don't know what's gonna happen with the draft or the season and how they're going to be able to work that out. So yeah.
Well, Terry, they have the bubble experiment that they're doing down in Orlando, Florida, where it's like the players are going to be locked into this bubble for, I don't know, it's like 3 months to finish the remainder of the 2020 season.
Well, yeah.
But the thing is, you saw that Jabari Parker, he tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. And also Buddy Hield, who plays for the Sacramento Kings, also tested positive for COVID-19. And so you have these players who haven't even resumed the season, but players they've contracted COVID-19, and so they're still dealing with that. And my thing is, it's going to be in Florida where the COVID-19 rates are skyrocketing. And it's like, do you really want to put the players in a position where they're in a state where the numbers are so high?
Yeah. Plus, Avery Bradley said that he's not going, and that's a major cog in the wheel. And then LeBron James is trying to get another chip before he retires. He's 35 years old, so he can't waste any time. So this is causing a lot of chaos. And I've seen the place where they're supposed to be saying it's ultra upscale. You know what I'm saying? It's got all the bells and whistles. It's beautiful. But despite that, there are some major players like Kyrie Irving and you know what I'm saying, and Avery Bradley and the like, who said they're not going to play. So it's just going to see how, it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out.
Yeah, but Cassidy City said you get your own Corona ring. You don't want a Corona ring? I want a Corona ring.
Yeah.
I just said that's something there. I don't know how it's going to work out. I mean, I guess we'll just have to see from whoever goes down there. I'm sure they're going to be testing on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's a quagmire right now. But speaking of a quagmire, we can go ahead and go to my report segment for right now, because we got a lot of ridiculousness going on. And starting with friends of the White House who were at a rally in Arizona yesterday. 5 more seconds for our brilliant producer, Portia Mitchell. She's Portia Mitchell today. But I think that getting back to the NBA and BET, it's just going to have a different look. It's not going to be the same. It's not it's not going to be as exciting and thrilling. But at the same time, because their eyes are nowhere else, I believe there's going to be extremely high rating. It might even be a ratings buster, just like with the versus battle, just like with DJ Nice. I think that because there's a great void in the entertainment realm, that this thing is just going to fall in and it's going to take up all of the space. And so we're looking for, I'm actually looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do, how they're going to turn out, how's it going to go live, how things are going to be live, and there's going to be. I mean, well, there might not be any. There might be a few, false starts. I mean, because we probably do have a few Teddy Rileys in that realm. We'll be trying to be extra and be too much. So yeah, but yeah, it's going to be interesting as far as I'm concerned. Yeah,
no, I'll definitely keep you updated. I know that we're supposed to be speaking today, and I'm like I said, I'm curious as well. Like I don't know how this is going to be, but I know that y'all know me, and ain't no holding back when it comes to me. So time to turn it all the way up.
Yeah, speaking of radical and speaking of game changers, that goes along with the movie Cracker and Cracker World. The governor of Rhode Island has proposed, and I saw this last night, and I'm thinking, how can that even possibly work? He's thinking about changing the official name of Rhode Island because it has slavery connotations. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think it's plantation at the end. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. But
is it Rhode Island Providence Plantation? I didn't really understand this.
Well,
I think plantation is in. Go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, now I think plantation is in the official name somewhere. Rhode Island Providence Plantation. That's the name of the state. So yeah.
And that's incredible because nobody ever knew that.
Who knew? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, on the maps, does it say that? I mean, like, those maps of the 50 states, I've never seen it say this whole name. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they still have actual plantations, like in rural parts of Georgia, rural parts of Alabama, Mississippi. They still have actual plantations that are called plantations. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
yeah. And the thing about it,
change it. Maybe they should.
Yeah, I mean, well, change it. I mean, all you gotta do is just take one word out. You know what I'm saying?
Take it out. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know why this is even a story, but it's going to be a story because it's going to inflame the radical right and the white supremacists because of the fact that they feel like this is further intrusion on their culture and of their status as white supremacists. So they think that that the country is catering to black people, and so they're going to call them reverse racists. Anyway, let's get down to more ridiculousness for today, starting with a friend of the White House. It's starting out with, and if we can go here, Mrs. Portia Mitchell. And yeah, this is a person who actually had the audacity, the testicular fortitude, well, maybe not that, but the intestinal fortitude to get up and actually say, to put apart her lips and actually let out the fact that Aunt Jemima was the picture of the American dream and that she fought for civil rights. I can't believe this. So there's a rally because the White House is planning on venturing out to Arizona for another rally. Now, this is extremely problematic because of the fact that Arizona is one of those states that had record-breaking coronavirus cases this past week. And so it seems like this is an utter and total disregard for the health and safety of even your own constituents. So, but anyway, in advance of the White House staff or the occupant of the White House going out there, they're saying that they want to go ahead, and we might even have the video of it, I think we do, by Ice Cube, who says that this person is going to be a future news director. And as soon as Portia Monique.
First, Aunt Jemima, she was a picture of the American dream. She was a freed slave who went on to be the face of the pancake syrup that we love and have in our pantries today. Aunt Jemima was canceled. And if you didn't know, Nancy Green, the original first Aunt Jemima, she was a picture of the American dream. She was.
I mean, that's a beautiful dream, ain't it, Cass? That's the dream.
Oh Lord. But I mean,
yeah. But
that's the dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to say anything about that. I mean, they took no account of the fact that she was, that she was a slave and that she was subjected to all types of indignities, and that her name came from some minstrel show that a white guy did. And they also failed to annotate or mention the fact that she never got rich off of her own product, and that when it was bought by Quaker Oats in 1921, which is almost 100 years ago, that they got rich off of it, but she didn't. And then PepsiCo got rich off of it because they bought it in the earlier part of the century. They bought Quaker Oats. So, but yeah, if we have time, I'll go back to the rest of our reports. I believe we have our next guest arriving. I don't know who's going to introduce that, but we will pass. I will pass the ball to A.R. Shaw and let him take it from here.
Hey, so I want to introduce good friends of the brand, the street execs. We worked with them on several past projects. We've done several covers, but they have this new thing that they're doing, this new venture that they're doing, the Parking Lot Concert Series. And so we're going to talk to them about that concept. We're going to also talk about how to go ahead.
What's up, Ron?
What's up, man?
What up? What's up, brother? What's up?
It says Lacey, but I'm actually Alan Parks. Lacey, is my.
We got you.
I'm on my sister.
What's going on, Alan?
Early this morning.
Oh man!
So I want to formally introduce you guys. Alan Parks from Street Execs, and we also have David Leaks. What's going on, David?
What's up, champ?
What's going on,
That's
man?
the troublemaker right there.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Cool, man. So we're gonna start off, man. We're gonna play a snippet of the Schoolie video, because Schoolie had a concert. We want to play a snippet of that before we get into the Q&A.
Cool.
I got red inside my system, need a stolen kidney. Shit coming fast, they know what it was. I'm on to this fashion. I just blew me a bag to go in the club. A whole nother bracket. These niggas don't know about the grade they do. I ain't gon' change. Get disrespectful and you my fame, and go get your mane and put on my chains and things. A couple of rings. Yeah, I got a stain. The graveyard in the game, they calling me Kane. Just stay on my lane. I'm just a dog that got out the cage that cannot be tamed. You can tell by my talking about dirty. I'm knee deep in the mud in my face. I got guns and drugs on my case. Too many guns in my place. Too many dubs. Too many hunters to pay. Put it.
Right.
Yeah, man. So go ahead, AR.
That's what it is, man. So we wanna before we get into the Q&A, man, let's want you to introduce yourselves and what you guys do for Street Execs, and we can also talk about the concept of the Parking Lot Concert.
Well, I'm Alan Parks. I'm one of the co-founders and business partner with Dave and Techniques on Street Execs. We started 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? As young people, entrepreneurs doing different things. I kind of was in the market doing street promotions. I had flea market stores selling mixtapes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Really getting the underground black market dollar. You get what I'm saying? That's what I specialize in. And I met Dave doing this thing on radio, Flavor 450 in college and stuff like that on the Morehouse scene and like that. And we just grew up as young men, and we turned into men. We got smarter, we got better. We use our relationships and our network. We use each other as resources. You get what I'm saying? When I'm good at, I specialize in that. What he's good at, he specializes in that. And then it became a beautiful thing. It's like the name is like Street Execs. You get what I'm saying? I kind of more represent the streets and kind of the culture from the raw form, and he kind of represent the executive and the culture from the corporate form, and you know what I'm saying, the college form and the educated form, the political form. So it's like a perfect match.
Definitely. So David, let's talk about getting into this thing, man, because it seems like once the corona hit, it's like the music industry was almost like everybody was scrambling, trying to figure out how they can continue on, how they can continue to make sure that the business continues to go. The live concerts were a big part of music revenue. Let's talk about the creation behind the parking lot concert series, and when did you guys come up with that? And how long did it take to implement this whole thing?
I mean, I guess our biggest claim to fame as far as Street Execs is our secret sauce is our marketing and how we market artists and market talent and coming up with like creative marketing concepts from the CEO Millionaires to the Davin Santa to the Pink Trap House, Honda Pink Trap House. It's like we always want to make things go viral. So Alan, Tech, myself, we were just very thinking of brainstorming various ways to kind of put this thing together. And, Alan can start it with the idea of like, what if we did a parking lot concert series? And then we just kind of, use our various relationships to everybody adding in, the various things to kind of make it come to fruition. So, it's a concept because we wanted to make sure that not only do we have people have fun, but we also wanted to make sure we had a social conscious element to it to ensure that people still had their social distance, still kept safe, but at the end of the day, still had a good time and had fun. So that's kind of the thing about that. But I let Alan, take over that question.
I mean, the parking lot concert came about like we was in album cycle with Schoolie, as you just seen, and then we hit pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Quarantine in the middle of trying to put together a project, and it was like, what do we do? Like, we got an album date, we got our music to release. It's like, and let's also remember that we are, me and Dave and our artists, like we are 100% entrepreneurs. You get what I'm saying? It's like 100%. So if we don't work or we don't have a plan to drive a sale or to drive revenue, it's like as grown men, it's like we got to look in the mirror, like, what are you going to do to take care of yourself? You get what I'm saying? So being faced with that reality, you know what I'm saying? So we got to adapt and adjust to any situation that happens in this world, pandemic, epidemic, it don't matter what happens. Like we got to get up as men and find a way to take care of ourselves. You get what I'm saying? So we happen to be music business professionals. So, studying the game, and just to be honest, me, like it was quarantine. So I wasn't even seeing Dave. You get what I'm saying? Everybody was home with their family, we were doing whatever. So, we would text or whatever the case may be. He'll shoot me he started shooting me data from across seas, you get what I'm saying, with the parking, the drive-in, stuff like that. And I was studying, I was at home studying. I think it was like it was like something in Germany happened first. He texted to my phone. I digested, you get what I'm saying? I text him back, hey, I got this documentary with Schoolie album, listening, everybody can be in their car, FM dial-in frequency. You get what I'm saying? I'm quite sure it has been done before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm the first person to do it, but I think I had the best time to do it. So for the first activation, pandemic style, socializing with people and sharing our music, fellowshipping with people in large numbers was the drive-in experience. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we booked the drive-in, everybody driving, you stay in your car, you turn this radio station on and you look at the screen. You get what I'm saying? So like I'm looking like, okay, cool. If that's not quarantine safe, pandemic safe, like what is it? You're in your own car. You get what I'm saying? You ain't got to touch nobody. You ain't got to talk to nobody. You ain't even got to get out. Cool. So we did that activation. You get what I'm saying? It went bananas. You get what I'm saying? We had cars going both downside Moreland, like, you know what I'm saying? They came out by the thousands. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. So I start looking around, start feeling it, studying my market. You know what I'm saying? When I go places, I'm not there having a good time. I'm really there working, understand and manipulate my data. So I'm studying my data. Then that passed. So we was like, okay, cool. We didn't perform. So we didn't charge people. We let them come for free. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, how are we gonna drive a sale? Like, what can we do different? You know what I'm saying? So I start thinking, and I called Dave. I said, Dave, I need a location, a parking lot. You get what I'm saying? And we're gonna make a stage, and people stay in their cars, and we're gonna start letting people perform to their peers and to their fans. And we got a lot of artists in house, so we did a proof of concept with Schoolie. And and as of now, we got to keep going on every week in Atlanta, Georgia, every Saturday, you know what I'm saying? And we've been successful. And that was like the brainstorming the idea. You know what I'm saying? So like we having this Zoom meeting now. So when we was in quarantine, like me and my marketing team, me and my team, I got like a team of like 5 people I work with every day, no matter what we're going through. So it's just being creative, bouncing ideas and like resources. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It was my idea. It was kind of more like Dave resources. So it's like, that's how the partnership and that's how this thing works. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I can do my idea, Dave real resourceful. You get what I'm saying? And, he made it happen for me on the resource side.
All right, Romeo.
I'll say this, man. My respect for the two of you guys is just 100. Even when you guys used to bring artists to my parties, I remember my first trip with y'all with Travis Porter. It was like North Carolina or something. But y'all have always been about two things: the artist quality and the crowd's safety. I do know this for a fact. So I guess my question is, did the two of you have any fear or second thought because of the fact that A, we have our artists performing, and then B, we have to make sure that this crowd is either controlled or, like you just said, there's a safety measure as far as, being socially distanced? Because I think the video of the Travis Porter video went viral and people were on top of the cars and people were dancing, people were enjoying themselves. But I think the backlash that came back was, where's the safety measures? And so do you guys is that ever a second thought or a concern when you put on these events now?
No, it's a forethought. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's this, like, first off, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you admit the gate, you know what I'm saying? We got a mask sponsor. You get what I'm saying? So we give you a mask as we scan your ticket coming into the event. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing we do. And then the second thing we do is, like, we ask all people to stay in their cars and enjoy the show from your car, on top of your car, in a lawn chair. You get what I'm saying? So we're putting out these measures to people. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like that people, the crowd that you see in the front, that's like the distance between the stage and the cars, and people get out their cars and kind of walk there. You know what I'm saying? And I guess we can kind of maybe take that away from them, but at the same time, it's like they freely did that. But we definitely promoting stay in your car, parking lot concert. That's why even you got to be admitted with a car. We don't even let you walk up. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So the people you see there has a vehicle there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we also doing vending and all type of little activation. So it's like you may get out your car and go get you a hot dog or some popcorn or a bottle of water or whatever the case. You go get out the car because we got all that type of stuff. We got voter registration there. You get what I'm saying? So you may go out there and do voter registration. You get what I mean? But you got to have a ticket, you know what I'm saying, in the car to even get in. So that's the first measure we put in. You get what I'm saying? So we're not promoting you get out your car. You can't just walk up to the parking lot concert and say, hey, I want to come in. You get what I'm saying? You got to drive up with your car and have a ticket and have a parking space. You get what I'm saying? So, but people take risks. But that's how we promote.
Yeah, actually, and just to champion kind of what Al was saying, and everybody saying, it's like the whole concept is kind of ingenious in a sense, right? Because the actual stage is on a 15-foot container, right? So the artist is well over 6 feet from the actual, customers. So they're actually performing, which is kind of creative to give it that very, urban feel, seen as though we're right by the belt line. So we have that kind of being a part of the neighborhood. We have that more of eclectic feel, but they're performing on top of the metal storage container. We wrap the storage container in a sense. Like Al said, we partner with UntilWeDoIt.org. Basically, it's a nonprofit organization that gives out masks to ensure that the safety of not just African Americans, but minorities are covered during this pandemic and various things, right? Because we are one of the few states who are allowing, the stay-at-home order has lifted. So the whole concept of the parking lot concert was the social distancing piece. And as you know, like I said, with Georgia, everybody wants to put in preventative measures, but the consumer and the actual person that actually lives in the state has the opportunity to do and go as they please.
Okay. And before I let you go, man, what's the next step? Do you guys want to take this to on the road, or like what's the next step, or are you just going to kind of continue to put the shows out in Atlanta? What's the next step?
We street execs, right? So what I'm saying, we know for making things go viral and taking things national, right? You can't even fathom a concept that we've done so far that's kind of been in the state. Like Romeo said, we've been in North Carolina on the Rolling Rampage tour. Who did a Southeast concert to a Travis Porter in skating rinks. So we're definitely going to take it. We definitely going to take it national. you know, we've identified a couple markets that we're going to do, a couple, you know, artist partners that we want to take in. Like I said, our vision is to go as big as possible, as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let Al kind of touch on that too. But, you know, we trying to go.
It's just to grow the brand and exposing it and bring this to different cities, different urban cultures, different artists. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody needed a chance to still do business and still work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we hiring DJs every week, we hiring security every week. You know what I'm saying? We hiring the musicians when we do bands. You know, we hiring promo teams and stuff like that. So it's like we actually giving back to the community in a time where, you get what I'm saying, things are a little rough. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we pride ourselves on having a great business model and doing business. So I see parking lot concert here to stay. You know what I'm saying? It's something we can do other places, and it's something that I want to bring back next summer and kind of be here. Like, it's gonna be a brand and a outlet that you can look to for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we can go over to Murphy Park on Saturday afternoons and they got concerts there. You get what I'm saying? It's going to be normal one day, and it's going to be what people consume. That's the vision for it.
Well, that's what it is, man. David and Alan, thanks so much again for joining us. You know, still you always been a friend of the brand. Definitely going to work together some more in the future. But definitely, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. And much respect, man. Thanks for coming on to join us this morning.
Thanks for the support, man. Thanks for always being there with everything we do. Romeo, thanks for being there. You know what I'm saying? The people who didn't say anything. Nice to meet y'all. Nice to see y'all. You know what I mean?
Nah, we like, you know, come on, man. The one thing about Atlanta, we got, you know, and I hate that people keep discounting the fact that we got professionals.
Right.
We are entertainment professionals. We grow entertainment professionals here. We don't grow people who are just artists. The one thing is, you're a leader in our community. That's why I didn't have to say nothing. I can stand down. You know, we make professionals here in Atlanta. That's what we do. We talk about data. I was listening. We understand the proof of concept. So the next young soldier will understand what he has to do to move. So much respect. Always love you guys. Big shout out to street execs. But you guys are training ground for young hustlers. You're employers. You're businessmen. So, you know, I love it. So that's all I heard. So I ain't got to talk when I got real men talking.
Understood. Say less.
Peace.
We definitely appreciate that. And, you know what I'm saying? We thank you definitely for the opportunity. Can't wait to get you guys out there. I know, I remember when you guys' office was right on, was that Cleveland Ave, like literally right down the street from the Wendy's, you know, so.
Pryor Road. University in Pryor. Yeah.
You know,
hot spot.
As y'all are a beacon of the community, we want to kind of do the same thing and uplift, you know, other people.
You know, we don't use no try. Come on, hustler. Y'all do it. We do it. Y'all represent.
Yeah,
y'all, come on, man. Y'all ain't trying. Y'all are doing it. This is what we talking about. The New York Times should be doing an article on you guys.
Absolutely.
When a brother talks about using data, when a brother talks about proof of concept, I mean, those are the things that we need the next generation to see. Y'all ain't trying, man. Y'all getting it. We in Atlanta. We don't try nothing. We gonna get it. So innovation is all I heard. This is innovation. This is a brilliant thing, man. I'm so proud of you guys, David. Y'all are really doing it. I mean, we gotta have confidence in this storm to be able to move forward. You know, y'all are employing people. These people are sitting at home. People need checks from us, Black entrepreneurs. You know, those are some of the people that are often forgotten. The people that y'all write checks to. You know, it's one thing to be a talker. It's a whole lot to be a check writer. And y'all are writing checks. So big ups to that in a moment where there are a lot of people hurting right now. We forget about it, but there are a lot of people that don't have no savings, that if y'all don't have a concert, they're not going to have a check.
And it's funny. You mentioned that. I know we kind of. It's funny you mentioned that, but Street Execs, we actually are partnering with Sprite, doing definitely a big thing. We don't want to put out too many details right now, but definitely follow our social media. You know, at Street Execs and at the Real You Records. You know what I mean? We have a very great campaign that we're gonna be launching. That'll be dope, and I can't wait to kind of see you guys out at the next Parking Lot concert. Don't think it's just gonna be one genre of music, right? We're gonna change it up. We're gonna try to, damn, like y'all brought them out. Like, this is crazy, right? You know, don't ever try to put us in a box, right? Not saying you guys do, but never try to put us in the box. We're gonna definitely excite various people and let people know that we're on their toes.
Cool. Much respect. Love the innovation. Keep making us proud, and continue to be mental soldiers out there and get this bread.
Yeah, man.
Love.
I'll be safe.
Respect, man.
Peace.
Respect. Peace.
Love it, love it, love it. Great innovation. Great example of Black excellence in business. Thanks, Amir.
Thanks, Amir.
That's what it is, man. So we want to finish with Terry's report.
Yeah, it looks like Ahmaud Arbery's mother. She's flying up to Kentucky. Not only to meet face to face for the first time with Breonna Taylor's mother, but she's planning to testify at City Council and other forums for police reforms. Not necessarily saying she's going to wants to defund the police, but she definitely wants to go about changing the way they operate in relations to how they treat Black people. So as we know, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, or I should say allegedly murdered, in Brunswick, Georgia, and Breonna Taylor was shot and killed. The EMT worker was only 26 years old, and she was shot in bed in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. on a no-knock warrant. So far, after many months, only one officer has been fired, and the other two none of them been charged, and only one of them has been fired. So we'll see how that turns out, and big ups to her. NASA, we all remember the blockbuster and award-winning movie Hidden Figures, starring Taraji P. Henson and Janelle Monáe. Well, the person that Janelle Monáe portrayed, Mary Jackson, they are naming NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C. after her. As you can see, the person, Mary Jackson, to the left, and also the building in Washington, D.C., which is on Hidden Figures Drive. Or Hidden Figures Way, I should say. So that is the picture of the building right there. So big ups to NASA for recognizing. A lot of people are recognizing us all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on with that kind of trend, but it's making me a little nervous. So everybody's recognizing us all at once within the past 2 weeks. But anyway, be that as it may, on to the next subject. Okay, listen. Oh boy. Listen, Tokyo Tony went on a expletive-riddled tirade against Black women, saying that she never wants to have anything to do with them and that she wants to go back to her own kind. Her own kind, she said, is Latinas, Hispanics, because she was born in the Dominican Republic. The 48-year-old said that she doesn't want to have anything to do with us. I don't know what we did to her, but her fame was... She acquired her fame, leveraged her fame, and acquired it using her Black skin and hip hop and Black culture, just like actress Zoe Saldana did, and then abandoned us. So she's, but this time, Tokyo Tony is saying that we are, or Black women, she blamed them for being on welfare and for perpetuating stereotypes that exist today. Well, I went ahead and gave a picture on the right-hand corner of what her own kind really is, and that is a dumpster fire, because she has been pilloried over the last several years with the way that she has raised her daughter, the infamous reality star Blac Chyna, and Blac Chyna is known as the baby mama for Rob Kardashian of the equally infamous Kardashian clan. So that is my report for today. Does anyone have any comments about my reports? I'm anxious to hear.
Wow.
He's out down alone, man. He's always out down alone.
Well, I just get real tired and weary of people who use Black culture to become famous and then act like they don't want to be a part of us, because after she acquired national fame from the movie Drumline opposite Nick Cannon, after that she said that she's not really Black, she is Hispanic because she's also from the Caribbean. She said that she is Latina. And then for years, she went ahead with that little narrative until it was time for her to play Nina Simone, which is going to be a big Black role. And then all of a sudden, she said she's Latina and Black. But before that, she was just Latina. So I just get tired of those people using the culture to get famous, springboard off of that, and then forget that they're Black. So Zoe Saldana does belong in that category. And that's why she got so much flack, a lot of flack from Black people when she played Nina Simone, which ended up being a box office disaster because it wasn't supported by anyone because they heard what Zoe Saldana said. Anyway, anybody else?
Yeah, it's just a bigger issue on race. And, people need to understand what being Afro-Latino, Afro-Latina is. Like you're also Black. That's a part of your heritage and your culture as well. If you're Dominican, if you come from, the Caribbean. So it's definitely important that people don't forget that.
Yeah, people seem to forget that when the ships came west, that people got sprinkled all over the place, including the Caribbean, before they got to America, and some went to South America. Matter of fact, there's more Black Americans in South America than it is in North America, and so they got sprinkled all over the planet. So they got dropped off, they got sprinkled, and so the fact that they try to separate themselves from anybody does is absolutely ridiculous. It's preposterous. So anyway.
Hey, pretty crazy. Rolling out. AM thoughts, positive thoughts of the day. We'll go to A.R. Shaw.
Positive thought of the day is innovation. I want to piggyback off my brothers from Street Execs. Definitely, this is a time where you can innovate, come up with new ideas, and definitely change the course of the world. This is your time, and just, innovation. That's the key. Pass it to Romeo.
Positive thought of the day: can't stop, won't stop. Terry.
Yo, just living your truth. Your truth will stand the test of time. If you feel like that you need to stay in the house and you can't, you want to wear a mask and people are deriding you about it, don't worry about it. Live your truth. If you believe that this is a real thing, unlike some Black people, that this is a real disease that can wipe out the planet, then please go ahead and live your truth. Stay in the house, practice social distancing, wear your mask. In time, you will be proven right. So live your truth. Oh, I passed the ball to Cass. I like to pass. Unlike Amir, who's like Kobe, he don't like to pass. So I'll pass it to Cass.
Well, thank you. My positive thought of the day is just to breathe. There are a lot of things that are gonna tick you off at this moment. They're gonna get you upset and angry, but just breathe your way through it. Just try to be at peace at this time.
I'm gonna pass the ball back to Romeo because we got 3 minutes so he can count down what we have on Rolling Out AM and what's happening in Facebook before we get off. We got 2 minutes. Thanks, Ed.
So shout out to D. Turner. Shout out to Barbara Fields. Shout out to Elizabeth Rotunda, Tom Carlson, Trey Ellie, Sammy Snell, Elizabeth, Lizzie. We love y'all. Don't forget rollingout.com. Don't forget the hottest is on the site and coming soon. Rolling Out Funny, Rolling Out Fit Club, and go to Playful Genius right now because the kids need something to read and y'all need to read them something inspirational. So go get that Professor Scott, Adam Smart, and the stuffed animals because they really dope. And now we throw the alley-oop back to Munson Steve.
Hey, thanks, Romeo. We definitely have a lunch and learn today with the phenomenal young lady. I thought for all of you who don't know, if you had kids, if you have loved ones, this is a 16-year-old who has definitely won several contests, actually in the condiment space for sauces, and she is crowdfunded, and she will share her journey, her excellence, and what she plans to do for all of you who have young kids at home. And we're asking for a flyer for the Lunch and Learn. So maybe we can get that up before we get this last minute. Be nice. Lunch and Learn happens every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Cassidy? Got a whole minute.
Yeah, we
definitely check it out.
There we go. Here we go.
There they go.
Bam! There she is. So all our young entrepreneurs, we've got Tyler Simone Creighton. She is a teen CEO. She will be coming on to discuss learning how to crowdfund teen entrepreneurship developing a winning product, and how to participate in pitch competitions, things we all need to know. Thanks so much.
Ain't it every Thursday? Did you say every Wednesday or every Thursday?
What's today?
Oh, today is Thursday. It comes after Wednesday.
See how this corona is affecting me? Every day seemed to be the same. I promise you. Thanks, Terry. Every Thursday at 12. Positive thought of the day. Love yourself. Be kind to others. And we'll see you. Peace and love for rolling out AM, the wake up call with A.R. Shaw. First King James, Terry Shropshire, Cassidy in the City, and Romeo International. You don't have to be in the streets, but you do have to be in the struggle. We love you guys. Peace.
And tomorrow is Friday.
Tomorrow is Friday.
Comes after Thursday.